Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, depending on which time zone you're joining us from. And a warm welcome to each one of you. Thank you so much for taking your time to join this session. As I said, it's great to see you all here. So I think we have a good number of participants joining in. Thank you again for joining in the session. And yes, my name is Soumya and have a pleasure of hosting this very special mock question challenge session where our speaker Zahari Zack will walk you through this session. And yes, we have planned this session, a special session, to be an engaging and fun. So keep sending in your comments and suggestions, especially any questions that you have. So we will answer them for sure at the end of the session. All right. And yes, here is a Zach introduction. So Zach is a certified ACTA trainer, PMP and CSM with extensive experience in project management, Six Sigma and quality assurance. So with over 9 years of experience, he has trained 20 years at Motorola as a software developer, project manager, and PMO member. Zach is a knowledgeable instructor. And as well as that, Zach has experience with various project management methodologies, has developed PM processes, and is a certified CSQA professional, emphasizing the importance of quality and ethics in his work. And yes, so before we dive deeper into our session, so here's a quick poll for everyone. So let's take a moment to gauge our participants' familiarity here. So please take a moment to answer the following poll question and give me a second. I'm just launching the poll for you all. Yes, here you go. So you have to answer your work experience and where are you from? And did you attend PMP certification training before? Okay, and have you previously attempted the real PMP certification exam? These are the 4 questions which you have. Right, great. Many people are participating. Wow, nice. Almost most of them are answering. Okay, so let's end the poll here and sharing the results for you, Zach. Do you have
Hi.
anything to tell about it?
Yeah, it's good to know. Again, I'm honored to be here with all of you. It looks like a mixed batch here. We have those who have attended training before, almost 60 to 40 of you have 40 of you have not attended. So it's a good number here. Those who have attended may not have taken the PMP exam. All right, it's good. So we'll go through the today's session and learn more from it. Thanks. Thanks, Sonia.
Yeah. All right. So yes, this is in spite of people knowing about the importance. Do you know that there's a real gap between the number of people who get trained for PMP certification are greater than the ones who actually attend the PMP exam and pass? And here it is. So it is always greater than the people taking the PMP training is greater than the people who are taking the PMP exam, right? So this is the fact. And yes, before we start, let's understand the main reason why people don't get the PMP certification despite its obvious advantages. And with a quick poll here, so I'm launching the poll again for you all. Yes. So what do you think is the primary reason why people who receive PMP training do not take the PMP exam? So there are like 5 options. Okay. If you have any other reasons, please specify in the chat box. All right. Great. So I think, Zach, there of 48% of the people are have answered lack of time to prepare,
Mm-hmm.
and 29, yes, 27% of them are telling difficulty level of the exam, and
Right.
27% again are telling I'm yet to take the training.
All right. Okay. So about almost 45% say they have taken the training but have not taken the exam, right? And
Yes,
27% saying difficulty level of exam. Not sure whether they have tried it before or is this based on what they hear, or they perceive to be difficult. So let's see. I will talk more about all that later. Yet to take training, okay, 27%. You are interested in the exam certification but have not taken the training. Okay, so we'll talk more about that as well. So we'll cover some points about the road to PMP certification and also about questions, what to look out for, what are questions you'll face. All right, that will help you in your preparation as well. But of course, in terms of time, you will have to have a good plan. All right, so where to start, how much is time to spend, all right, and roughly how long it should take to prepare. Okay, we'll talk about that.
yes,
Thanks.
yes. So, let me tell you, so why you should select KnowledgeHut as your PMP certification learning partner. A PMP certification is an IBF accredited program, and you can get up to 70% IBF subsidy, utilize your
This is
skills.
for Singapore, right?
Yes, yes. Skills future credit and avail UTAP support. And you can earn 35 PTUs and 35 hours of instructor-led training. And KnowledgeHut is a premium authorized training partner of PMI. And you'll also get comprehensive training aligned to the latest PMP exam content outline 2021, and comprehensive PMP application assistance and exam preparation support. So you will get all these, um, there's all these things when you enroll with KnowledgeHut. And this is also one more thing. You'll get the government support from the Singapore. KnowledgeHut is one of the few edtech providers which is accredited under the IBF STS scheme, SSD ATU, that provides UTAP and SFC support. In the various other courses are and a full-time curricular development team. Product team spends hours and hours to curate the app training approach before receiving the approval for the subsidies. And in Singapore, KnowledgeHut is also exclusive delivery partner to deliver PMP training for Singapore Polytechnic.
And
Right?
this is again for Singaporean and Singapore PR.
Correct. Yes. And these are a few university partners which KH KnowledgeHut is aligned with. We have many more. Yes, so without any further delay, I would like to hand over the session to Mr. Zach. Here you go, Zach.
All right, thank you, Samya. Again, I'm very honored to be here. All right, so based on our on the poll earlier, right? Some of you find it to find time. Some of you think it's difficult. All right, of course, some of you have not taken taken the course. So okay. So there are some questions that you may have. All right, the challenges you think you may have, either to start training or even the PMP exam itself. So where to start? Of course, for those who have not taken the training, the best place to start is register for the course and contact KnowledgeHut for that. All right, that will be a very good start. Okay, for those who have taken the course, have not taken the exam, then perhaps you need to come up with a good plan. Huh? So maybe you do not have a plan right now. So that may be a major issue. So give yourself time, perhaps at least 5 weeks, all right, after the course. Don't wait too long to start even your revision time. Huh? Okay. If you do that, maybe you might have forgotten some of the things that you have learned, all right? And some of you who have not taken the course, you may think, oh, there's a lack of material. Where do I start? What to study? So if you attend the course, you will realize actually there's a lot of materials that you can refer to, all right? So that's a very good place to start. Huh? KnowledgeHut, you may wonder what to study, what not to study. Of course, when you attend the course, you have a lot of tips and recommendation of what to focus on, all right? So that will help a lot as well. Okay. You may not understand the PMI exam content outline. In short, we call it the ECO, right? The latest ECO in 2021. So that is like the main syllabus for the PMP exam. It's important for you to be familiar with that. All right. We will provide you that ECO reference to that if you attend the course as well, of course. And also you can actually access that on the PMI website. Right? Even you can read through before you even register for a course and start your road towards the being a certified PMP. You may not know how to apply. Again, two ways to apply: either apply for the exam or apply to your work. Right? So all this will be covered when you attend the course, and you will learn more about that. Of course, you need to practice a lot of exam questions. And KnowledgeHut website, the Prism, has 4 mock exams. Once you attend the course, you have access to 4 full mock exams. So plenty of mock exam questions for you to practice. All right. When it comes to preparation, again, the 2 key phrases, just like when you want to look for a real estate to purchase, they always say location, location, location is most important. So for this is study, 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 and practice, practice, practice. That is very important. All right. So when you have done all that, you will realize when you are ready, right? You are equipped with all the right knowledge, the right skill set, right materials, right places, exam question to practice on. So you will know when you're ready, when the time comes after you have attended the course. All right, of course, as Soumya mentioned just now, KnowledgeHut provide a lot of good service in terms of PMP application, how to fill up the form, what is needed, all right? And even during your preparation work, your studies and all that, okay? You may want to go back one slide, so we are not yet. So based on that, you get a lot of help from KnowledgeHut, right? Once you join the course. Okay, where you can even be assigned with a mentor to tell you whether you are ready for the exam or not, based on your preparation work. Okay. All right, Sonia, next slide. All right, for those who are not familiar with the PMP exam, this is the requirement that you need in order for you to be accepted to sit for the exam, right? So if you have a degree, you are required to have 36 months leading projects. Okay, the keyword here is leading. You're not just part of a project team, right? You are leading and managing the project. That is keyword here. When you want to submit the application to sit for the exam, you have to describe your project, right? So you have to describe in a way that you are leading the project. And you require 35 hours project management training or CAPM certification. CAPM is another project management certification by PMI, which does not require experience. So for those who have 3 years of experience, you can just attend training and sit for the CAPM exam, right? Certified Associate Project Management Certification. If you have already sit for the exam, if you're already certified, of course, you already have the 35 hours. The 35 hours still remains. It does not expire, so you can reuse the 35 hours of training in order to apply for the PMP exam. Right? If you have a diploma or something equivalent other than the degree, then you are required to have 60 months of leading and managing a project, right? So 2 more years compared to the degree. Right? And of course, you also need to have training, which is 35 hours of training or CAPM certification. Next slide, Soumya. All right. As some of you mentioned just now during a poll, you all think that PMP exam is not easy. Well, of course, yes, it is true. Right? It's not so easy, but it is actually worth the effort. Right? It's not easy when you are not well prepared. Of course, you will become easier if you are well prepared. Right? Most people I know, when they are well prepared, based on my past learners that attended my training, they will pass, all right, if you are well prepared. Okay? Hardly you have anyone who fail if you are well prepared, right? It's definitely worth the effort. It's a very well recognized certification worldwide, and the demand for this skill is actually quite high. Nowadays, a lot of organizations focus on executing their work based on project management, and they want to have a certified project manager, of course, right? Okay, next slide. All right, for those who are not familiar, this is the road to the PMP certification, the steps you should take, all right? So of course, the first step is where to start is enroll in a PMP course, all right? So contact KnowledgeHut for that, right? It's good to join as a PMI member, right? You get access to a lot of resources from the PMI website as a member. So you'll be able to download the exam content outline. Even without the member, you can still download exam content outline. And ECO is very, very important document. It lists down the 3 domains. Later we'll talk more about the domains and the important tasks that need to be done in that domain within a project. And all the training materials, now since 2021, there is a standardized training material by PMI. Previously, before that, all the training providers can create their own training material based on the PMI framework, but now PMI is standardized. And the training material is actually aligned to the exam content outline. Whatever important tasks inside the exam content outline, the content will cover that, all right? The training content will cover that. Okay, and of course, the important reference is the PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge by PMI. This covers all the framework, the processes, process group, knowledge areas, tools and techniques, right? All those are in the PMBOK. Very important reference book, right? For the PMP exam. All right. So attend the course. Once you complete the course, it should be 35 hours of training, and then you prepare for the PMP exam, right? So again, don't delay too long, otherwise you might forget a lot of information and to restart to study from fresh again. Huh? So try to study it as soon as you can. Of course, for those of us who are working full-time, it may be a challenge, right? But so it's always good to have a plan whereby you can leave aside certain hours every year. It's not certain hours, not every day, or at least at the end of the week, right? So study all the training materials you have, whatever notes you have, right? And also practice. Just like when we prepare for exam in school, right? The teacher always make us practice past exam questions. So similar, practice a lot of exam questions. And as I mentioned, KnowledgeHut has 4 full mock exam that you can practice on. You can practice either without timing or with timing, right? Important to also practice with timing because you have to answer 180 questions within 3 hours and 50 minutes in the actual exam. So it's good to test yourself so you understand your pace. Huh? All right, so after you applied, PMI come back to you and say, yes, we accepted your application. These are the instructions to book for the exam, the exam center, the exam date. You can also take it from home, right? So we can talk more about that later, right? So hopefully all of you scheduled for the exam and pass the exam for the first time, all right? Touch wood, if you do not pass on the first time, there's still 2 more tries that you can take within 1 year that you have been accepted to take the exam. Huh? And so once you pass, you can celebrate. Yeah, you are certified project manager. Okay, you will receive your certification from PMI. All right, once you are certified PM, you need to renew your certification, PMP certification every 3 years. All right, it's not difficult to achieve this. All you need is 60 PDUs to submit every 3 years. Right? PDUs means development units, professional development unit, and 1 PDU is equivalent to 1 hour, 1 hour of training or 1 hour of experience. You can attend webinars. If you're a PMI member, there's so many webinars at the PMI website. All right, and if you attend webinars from the PMI website, it straight away submit the PDU for you automatically. So very easy. Otherwise, you attend seminars or readiness training outside, you will need to submit online what you have attended. Right. And also you can submit based on your project management experience. Maybe doing project management all this while, you can also submit that. But for project management experience, there's a limit to it. It's maximum 40 hours, right? So you still need to have some training or attending some webinars or seminars. All right. Next slide. Actually, I'm not sure about Somnia, but I don't mind if you guys raise question at any time. Huh? So I always like to strike the iron while it's hot. Okay. So any relevant question that you may have for me, you can ask question anytime. Okay? All right, this is called the PMI Talent Triangle. The ECO exam content outline is aligned to the PMI Talent Triangle. So if you look at this triangle here, one side of the triangle is called power skills. Power skill refers to leadership skills, soft skills. All right, these skills you require to manage people. Huh? So people management, right? So you see in the ECO domain, one of the domains is called people. So our skills focus on that domain. Right? Previously, before 2021, previous ECO focus on processes only. How to do this process, what's the input, what's the tools, what's the output, right? In the PMI framework, there are 49 processes. As I mentioned just now, within 5 process group and 10 knowledge areas. So 100% of the question is based on the processes before 2021 ECO, right? Of course, your processes and knowledge area cover some knowledge area that mentioned people management, like resource management, stakeholder management. But now it's specially focused, one domain just for people management. And 42% of questions will cover people management. The other side is called ways of working. Ways of working refers to technical project management. How to do project management, what are the processes, what are the techniques, right? So this focus on the process domain, aligned to the process domain, ways of working. So 50% of the question will cover processes. So you need to be familiar with the 49 processes and 5 process group and 10 knowledge areas, right? Finally, the third side of the triangle is called business acumen. All right, that's aligned to the business environment. 8% of the question will cover the business environment. Basically, as a project manager, you must know the business. You must know how does the project contribute to the company benefits? How does it align to the company's strategy, right? So very important as a PM, it's not just about doing the project. We have to know what value does our project bring to the company, right? Okay, next question. Sorry, next slide. All right, so talking about the PMP exam question, there are various styles, all right? So, but the most important thing is that the PMP exam questions are always situational, meaning that they always have a scenario before they ask the question, okay? So you have a few sentences, one paragraph describing a scenario and what is the question. So the important thing is that you want to assess your understanding, right? I took my PMP certification more than 10 years ago. So before that, it's very, very memory-based. Okay, there's a lot about based on your memory. Okay, but now they have switched the approach. Not so much direct questions, just based on memory. Make use of situation to assess whether you actually understand the situation or not. Understand what process the question is referring to. So questions always follow process. Based on the scenario, do you understand what is being performed? What process is actually being performed? So question can follow like, what should the PM do first? What should the PM do next? Right? Maybe the scenario is mentioning something that is not right. Question can be, what should the PM have done? So you have to understand the process. There also, sometimes you have extraneous information in the questions, all right? Questions, the scenario can be very long and some sentences are non-value add, I would say. It's not related to the question, it can be also. So we have to be familiar. So by practicing a lot of exam questions, we will see all this, right? We'll be more familiar about what to expect, right? So when you read exam, the scenario, you have to look for keywords. Some of the statement is totally irrelevant. So look for the important keywords. You may have made up terms. In the training, we will learn a lot of project management terms and terminologies, and you must be familiar with the terminologies used in the PMI framework, in the PMBOK, all right? So you should be able to tell, but sometimes what they do in the PMP exam is they may put one option, all right, a term, which is totally not related to project management. Yeah. So if you are familiar with the project management terms, you can straight away tell these options can be eliminated, right? It's totally not relevant to the scenario. Okay? They call it the red herring. Just there to trick you. But it can be very easy for those people who are familiar with the terms and terminologies. Straight away, you can eliminate already. Okay, so talking about terms and terminologies, of course, like I say, you need to understand the term and terminologies. You need to be aware. So all this you will learn during the course, all right? And also you will learn and recall when you practice more and more exam questions. Most exam questions are multiple choice, one option each, but nowadays PMI have added a new method whereby it can be more than one option, more than one correct option. So you must read properly, all right? They may, at the end, they may say choose 2 options or choose 3 options. Okay, it's no longer just one, but most of them is still one options. But sometimes you can have select 2 options or select 3 options. So make sure you don't miss that out. No? Okay, next. Some test themes. What it means is that it's very important for us to know something that PMI, from PMI perspective, it is very, very important in a project. Right? So things like a project manager is expected to evaluate first before taking action. Okay, there must be some kind of analysis, not just straight away use your gut feeling, right? So given a scenario, if the question say what should the PM do first, what should the PM do next, all right? So evaluate the situation first, all right? Of course, if there's a problem, you must solve the problem, don't postpone it. Okay. Another important point from PM perspective is servant leadership. You will see this phrase over and over again during training, right? It started off from agile, but it's useful for all kind of project approach. Servant leader means you are the leader in the project, but you serve as a servant, right? Help the team, guide the team, mentor the team, not just the team, no, all the stakeholders as well. Right? Have these principles in mind, no? Clear the path, remove any issues in terms of environment, in terms of obstacle by other stakeholders, all this area as a project manager. And if you're talking about agile approach as a scrum master or agile coach, be a servant leader, right? So when you are looking at the question and options, think of this, have this principle in mind. Right? All right, now, since PMBOK 6, which was released in September 2017, they have added agile knowledge and skills, agile approach, right? So, and in edition 7 edition of PMBOK is full-blown ready, is all-inclusive, agile, traditional project management, hybrid, all right? It's all together 50-50, right? All-inclusive. So you must be able to tell based on terms and terminologies. You can tell which approach the scenario is referring to. Is it agile? Is it traditional or predictive or hybrid? So what is the right action you can take based on those approaches? And Agile have a lot of their own terminologies. So usually it's similar but different from the traditional terminologies in project management. So once you are familiar, you'll be able to tell which approach they are referring to. Okay, the PM must be ethical, of course. So always put the interest of the project ahead of his or her own interests, right? Always be ethical, always do the right thing. So you will have questions in PMP exam about ethical scenarios, right? So always choose the right thing to do, even if it will affect your schedule or your cost or budget. If it's the right thing to do, you should take the option. Next point here, PM protects the project from unnecessary changes. So especially in traditional or predictive approach, right? We must, this is another important point in PMI way of thinking. You must have a good change control procedure. You must have a procedure to how to manage change requests. There must be approval, right? A group of people to approve the change request before the project manager can implement. Only when the change request approved, then PM can implement. Otherwise, cannot, right? So again, refer to when you are in this situation in the exam question. Make sure you follow the change control procedure, right, for any change request. Talking about change request, I go back to the first point. When we do something always based on a plan, everything we do must be based on a plan. So have this PDCA mindset, all right? Plan, do, check, act. So whenever there is a scenario, situation, when I say evaluate first, always check the plan, all right? Is it according to plan or not? Okay, so that's how you evaluate. Evaluate the plan, evaluate the impact of the situation. Coming back to the last point, always choose the best answer that matches PMI exam. So all those important points I mentioned earlier from the PMI perspective, make sure you choose the answer that's best fit that mindset, all right? Other things I can share, like must have an approved project charter. This is a must have. So have that in mind, right? If any situation that your question said the charter has not been approved, but your direct manager asks you to start immediately because he has other tasks to give to you. All right, so you have to choose an option that describes, no, you cannot do it. All right, explain to him the consequences. Right. Another important point to take note of, must have WBS, especially for predictive and traditional. Right, any situation that says there's no WBS defined, you define first. All right, that's from the PMI perspective. Okay. Identify stakeholder, analyze them, also a must. All right, so have all this mindset. So those are all PMIism, right, that you need to be aware of. It will help you to answer the exam question if you have that mindset. Next. So now. All right, so let's run through a few exam questions, okay? All right, remember we mentioned about the 3 domains, right? People, process, and business environment. So let's start with the people domain. Okay?
Yes, for each of the question, I'll be launching the poll for you people to answer. So once the question is completed, then I launch the poll. You can answer them.
Okay.
Yes.
Being assigned as PM, you notice during project execution that conflicts arise in the team on both technical and interpersonal skills. What is the appropriate way of handling conflicts? All right, so this is referring to conflict management knowledge area, so which you will learn in the course. So you need to be familiar with that. Select the right option.
Okay, so we are getting mixed opinion.
Okay.
So yes, yeah,
50%, huh?
plus still
For
answer.
example, oh, okay. Oh, it's changing now.
Yeah.
Okay, so 40%, 44% of you say C, right? Like I say, you have to know be familiar with the conflict resolution techniques. Huh? Five of them actually. And here we talk about collaborative approach in C. Huh? So that's actually one of the conflict resolution technique that you will learn actually. Okay.
Yeah. So let's see the answer now.
Okay. So the best approach for conflict resolution is collaborative approach. Huh? Just now in option A, it mentions smoothing. Smoothing is also another approach, right? But this is the best. Okay. Next.
All right. So we are moving on to the next question.
You are the PM leading software. This is quite a long scenario. To update existing tool used by the business to manage the inventory, the business team ensures to get past of the new system and the new user interface in the hands of the inventory staff at the facilities worldwide. They are frustrated that after a few weeks, they do not see much progress. Your development team is worried because they do not think that the business team understand the behind the scene backend work. What is the best way to bridge the gap? You as a PM, we have these two parties. Some kind of misunderstanding. Choose three. So this is an example of not just one option. But the poll is only for single choice. That's all right. Okay. All right, let me help to explain this.
Yes.
All right, so first option says communicate to the business side to let them understand the business as a development team, how much work they need to do. Okay, B says communicate to the development team the needs and expectation of business team. So let the development team understand their expectation, right? Okay. And C requires business tool to analyze. That one is totally out, so that should be eliminated. E say let them resolve. Of course, we should not let them resolve by themselves. We should be a servant leader. Remember, servant leader. So help. All right. D says arrange collaborative session for both teams to understand each other. So there's some keywords here. Collaborative is so very important. So this should be one of the options. All right. And communicate to both parties. So A and B also is important. So answer should be A, B, and D.
Yeah. Yes. So let us see the answers here.
Okay. So remember about servant leadership. Okay, next.
All right. Yes.
This question is about ethics. Right? Larry likes to have a martini at lunch because he's self-employed. He does so at his own leisure. As a PMP, Larry is working as a contractor for a company that prohibits drinking during working hours. Larry still has his martini at lunch. How to characterize Larry's behavior? Try to align the answer that align to ethics. Okay. As I see, cyber A does not align with ethics. Should not be the answer. B is also an obvious thing, so it's not aligned. So actually you can eliminate A and B, so that will leave you C and D, right? But which one is more closer? It's talking about working with for a company, all right? So you have to abide to the rules of that company. In this case, you didn't mention company, but mention community. That's the closest actually. Okay. Should be
Yes.
C.
Here 83% of them have answered option C and 17% have answered option A. So let us see the right answer. Right.
Okay. So community refers to that company, right? That's the closest.
Yes.
Next.
All right. So next question.
PM recently got her PMP certification and joined a professional project management group. The group members meet on a regular basis to discuss new opportunities, trends, and issues in the project management. This satisfaction that the PM gains from this association with this group is most closely aligned with what? Right? This is referring to the motivational theory that you will learn in the course. All right, so you need to be familiar with that.
Okay.
So you have expectant theory, Maslow theory, Herzberg theory, McGregor theory. This is referring to the sense of being in a group. Okay. Most people, they like to be part of a group. Okay. So what theory is that referring to? I would say A and B is quite close, right? For those, as you can see, half of your people select A and B. Okay.
Okay, I'm sharing the results for you here. So for 41% have answered E and 41% again have answered B. So remaining 6 and 12% for C and D. So let's see the right answer. Just give me a moment.
Should be Bravo. Okay. All right. B, Maslow hierarchy of needs. Because Maslow hierarchy of needs, the third level is belonging. All right, sense of belonging. So that should be the answer. Sense of belonging to a group. All right.
Okay.
Next one.
Here comes the process domain now. So we are moving on to the process question 1. Yes.
Okay. Process related project plan should be updated frequently to account for approved change requests. This ensures greater precision with respect to cost, schedule, quality, and scope. Which of the following approaches will lead to the most effective project plan? Now, the word project plan here actually referring to project management plan, all right? But sometimes in short, they just call it project plan. There's nothing wrong with each of these options, but there's one that is the best option, all right? So this is an example whereby you need to select the best option. Other options are partly correct, but there's one that is the best. So think about being inclusive, all right? Satisfying everyone.
Yes. All right. Here we go. 65% of them have answered C, and 18% B, 12% E, and 6% is D. Right. Let's see the right answer now.
Okay, so work with all the stakeholders, all right? Not just a few individuals. Okay, understand their expectation and their needs, right, to come out with your overall plan. Okay, and I hope you all understand that stakeholder is not just customer, because a lot of time when I ask learners what do they understand by stakeholder, the first thing they think of is customer. It's everyone that is can affect the project or be affected by the project are all stakeholders. Okay, next.
Yes. Here's the next question.
You're assigned as PM for internal project during cost planning and budgeting. You discover that there are peak times of cost during the project and other times when the costs are fairly low. What could this mean for the project? Very long options for you to read.
Yes.
I think when you said not to care about them a bit, it's not easy to accept because you still need to manage the budget, right?
You need some time to read the following options.
Yeah. I'm just looking at some initial answer here.
Yes.
Move one project to another project also doesn't quite make sense, huh?
Right. So let's end the poll here. Yes, here is the results. 43% of them have answered A, and 14% B, 21% C, and 21% D.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see the right answer.
It should be A, yeah.
Yes.
All right. So this one refers to funding limit reconciliation. That's one of the techniques of managing budget. So if you don't always given one lump sum of the budget, you have to understand at a certain period there are some limitation that you cannot spend above or spend more. So you need to understand the company's funding limit, and you work according to that. Okay. Okay. Next.
Yes. Here's the next question.
Closing a project, project measures prior information from the previous phase closures to make sure that all project deliverables are complete. Which of the following documents should the PM use and review to measure project scope to ensure completion of deliverables before considering project close? Okay. One tip I can give you is that, remember when I said always evaluate first, and I said evaluate according to plan, all right? Okay, evaluate according to plan. Huh? So based on that mindset, actually you can eliminate C and D. Okay.
Yes, so couple of more seconds. Yes, so I'm ending the poll here
Okay.
and sharing the results for you, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
So 24% E, 41% have answered B, 18% C, and 18% D again.
Okay.
Right, so let's see the right answer.
Okay. Should be the plan, huh? So project management plan. But even though scope management plan makes sense, but project management plan is all inclusive. All right, so it's better to choose that. Although the B actually not totally wrong, huh? But A is the best answer.
Right, so the next question, number 4 is here for you.
Okay, you have joined the PMO after 6 years of working on projects. One of the things you want to introduce to your company is the value of creating and utilizing work breakdown structures, WBS. Some of the PMs are unhappy that you're asking them to do extra work. Huh? They never do the WBS. Now you're asking them to do. Which of the following would be best thing to you tell the PMs to convince them to use the WBS, to do the WBS, right? I mentioned earlier, one of the things to note is that in PMI perspective, WBS is a must.
Yes, people are still answering. Most of them are answering the right answer, option A.
Yep, that should be the right answer.
Yeah, so let's end the poll here and check the right answer. Yay, A is the right answer.
Is the reason why you must have WBS from PMI perspective.
All right, let's move on to the next one, Zach.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
This
So,
business environment domain.
correct. So, the question number 1. Yes.
All right. So this is actually, you must know the definition of opportunity cost, right? So project A has an MPV of 30,000 and project B has MPV of 50,000. What is the opportunity cost if project B is selected? All right. You will learn about opportunity cost in the training as well. And the opportunity cost may be slightly different from what you think in the outside of PMI. Yeah? From PMI perspective, opportunity cost means the opportunity loss of opportunity. Okay? Loss of opportunity, one, you select one over the other. That is opportunity cost in pinball, right? I know some of you may have a different definition and calculation for opportunity cost.
Yes.
In pinball,
So, yeah.
is the loss of opportunity when you select another one.
All right. So, I'm ending the poll here, and here are the results. Usac 63% have answered C, 31% to B, and 6% A. So, yes, let's see the right answer.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's a loss of opportunity. Yeah? So if you choose B, the value of A will be lost.
Okay.
Next.
Here's the next question.
Rita is managing a project with an estimated budget completion of 500,000. Her team should have completed 40% of the work by now, according to the schedule. However, at the last status meeting, the team reported that 35% of the work has actually been completed. The team has already spent 225,000 so far on the project. As a supervisor to Rita's project, how will you best describe the project in terms of status? Huh? This is the earned value management. So, of course, you will learn this in the training as well. So the value of work plan is 40% up to now. You want to report status now at this point in time. At this point in time, 35% of work has completed and you already spent 225%. So to report status in terms of schedule, you compare the work completed against the work plan, right? In terms of budget, you compare the work completed against the amount spent. That is earned value management for status reporting.
Yes. All right. So people are still answering. Let us give a couple of more seconds.
So just to add on, since some of you may not have learned all this, so let me just explain for those. You can see that they plan to complete 40%. So that's the work plan, right? And they have completed 35% now. So the work completed is less than the work plan, right? Means you are behind schedule. And then for cost budget, you compare against the work completed against the amount spent. So work complete is 35% of 500,000, and you have already spent 221%. Means that you have spent more than you have completed the work, which you are actually over budget. That is the answer, right? For those who have not learned this earned value management.
Yes. So 47 people have answered B, and 47 people again have answered C, and 7% have answered D. So yes, let's see the right answer.
Okay, so it should be behind schedule and over budget, right? Comparing the work completed against the planned work and the amount spent already. Okay.
Right. Next question.
Erin has identified an opportunity to potentially increase her project value, which of the following is an example of enhancing the opportunity. Okay. So you must understand which knowledge area they're talking about, which topic they're talking about. This is actually referring to risk management. Okay. Referring to risk management, and risk management refers to both threats and opportunity. So this is referring to opportunity. And what is the strategy for opportunity. One of the strategy is called enhance, right? So what does it mean? Increase the chance of getting the opportunity. Okay. This is asking you the meaning of enhance strategy. Okay. This is for positive risk. For negative risk, the opposite of enhance is transfer.
Okay, let me in the poll here,
Mm-hmm.
and let us check the right. It's okay. People are answering now. All right. Here are the results, Zach. So 47% have answered E, 20% B, 7% C, and 27% D. Let's see the right answer.
Okay. You partner someone, so increase the chance of that opportunity. Increase the chance means increase probability and also will increase the impact.
All right. Let us go to the next question. Yes. Question number 4 is here.
Okay, let me point out again, but your poll is still question 3, you see? Is it?
Question number 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, for this question, let me highlight one more thing also. From PMI perspective, another important point to note is that as a PM, try not to escalate to higher level often. So escalation should be the last resort. Right? So in this case, you can take some action to define which level you need to escalate. Right? So you don't have to escalate all the time. So here you are establishing tolerance level. So below that tolerance, you can take action. Above that tolerance, you may need to escalate. Right? So you don't have to escalate all the time.
All right. Most of them have answered option D, 80% of them.
Okay.
All right. Let me end the poll here and see the right answer. Great. Most of them have answered the right question, right option.
Yep. So that you know when to escalate, not all the time.
Yes. All right. Thank you everyone for participating in the poll questions. And if you have any questions, you can now ask Zach. You can text your questions if you have anything in the question answers window. So we'll see. We'll answer each one of them. All right. Any questions? Please share in your questions or any comments, any suggestions. Shabari says there's no question. All right. And yes,
So
I think we
does
have a
everyone
question.
understand? No? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
All right. We have a question from Rashi. Hi, Zach. Is there any suggestion on how to fill in the form or application for registering? This is the question, Zach.
Okay. Perhaps registering the form and all that, KnowledgeHut can help, right, Soumya or Sanya?
Sorry, Zach?
Filling up the form for application for PMP exam. KnowledgeHut has a service to provide that to help them in filling out the form,
Yes,
right?
correct, correct. So is there any suggestion from your side of how to fill the form?
Well, there is a document that you can download, okay, from PMI, which is called, which give you a lot of guidance on how to fill up. And also there's a lot of videos, right? If you're not sure, there's a lot of videos that you can search for. In fact, I will give all the suggestion during the training as well. Huh? So there are a lot of videos that show you how to fill up the form. You can do a Google search, but like I said, once you register and you work with KnowledgeHut, you'll be guided on all this. Okay? So no worries about that. Huh? You won't have a problem on filling up. And also, of course, like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to experience, you don't describe that you are a team member, which I have seen before. Somebody told me they are selected for audit and then rejected because when I asked them, I asked them to show me how the person actually describe the project. They said he is one of the team member. Cannot, okay? You have to be a leader and a manager you have to be a PM. Cannot be a team member only.
Yes.
Okay?
Right. So we have another question from Kiran Mai. What is the best way to prepare for PMP exam? Question mark. Solving more practice tests or referring PM Mock after the training?
Okay, all right, good question. All right, there are many ways to prepare. The basic way is to read the paper, all right, because it's provided by PMI. However, there are many books written for you to prepare for exam, all right? And these books, I don't want to recommend now, okay? And these books are written in layman terms. And also they have also practice question there, which you can do that. But if you don't have all this additional, then you must read the pinball, right? Because pinball is the guidance. All the processes, process group, knowledge area is there, all right? But of course, a lot of things are covered in the training material as well, all right? So if you want to be sure, then read pinball and also revise the training materials, all right? And once you have done that at least once, then do a lot of practice questions. It's both, right? It's not either or, right? It's not just practice, because sometimes you don't have the knowledge yet. You practice, you don't understand the questions or explanation. So at least read one time, read through the training material, and do a lot of practice. And once you do a lot of practice, you're not sure of certain things, you go back to the pinball, refer back to pinball and training material. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Zach. And there's other question from Raja Kumar. He says, I have completed the PMP course through KnowledgeHut last year. Will I be getting discounts for taking certification? Zach, please provide suggestions or materials to refer for the certification apart from 35-hour PDUs.
Okay, let me see that I get the question right. You have already completed 1 year ago. So your 35 hours is still applicable, all right? Yeah, so you can still use the 35 hours, you don't need additional training, right? And what else is in the question again?
Yeah, so he has completed his PMP course through KnowledgeHut the last year. So he's asking, will he get a discount for taking certification?
Discount in terms of exam, is it? The
Is it
exam
for
cost, is it?
exams, Rajakumar, or taking certificate?
Yeah,
He's
because
asking for taking certification.
I don't understand. Is cost of training or cost of exam?
Okay, I'll ask him to rewrite the question.
Yeah. Taking the exam, you're gonna say yes for taking exam. Now, exam is a separate cost, right? Unless it's included in the auxiliary package for KnowledgeHut. I think Sanya and Somia, you have to answer that.
Yes, so we'll, all right. So our person will get in touch with you for this for sure, Rajakumar. And he's asking any suggestions or materials to refer for the certification apart from the 35-hour PDUs.
Any materials to refer? I thought this question was answered just now. You have to refer to the pinball, at least read it once, all right? Pinball 6, Pinball 7 is summary, okay? For everyone here, take note. Pinball 7 edition, this latest one, is a summary. You must also refer to Pinball 6, all right? There's another book which is also referred to process group. which I will explain more during training so I understand better. But if you don't have PMBOK 7, PMBOK 6 is very important. Huh? If you have PMBOK 7, you must have the process guidebook. Okay, so this is your main reference book. This is from PMI. You should read it and then do your practice questions. Of course, you also have to go through the training materials.
Yes, hope that answered your question, Rajakumar. And Mormon is asking any physical training center for PMP exam.
Yes, there are quite a number. So once you have submit application form, if PMP accept it, they will give you steps on how to register or book for the exam. So they give you a list of exam center near your area. So you select which region you are, which country you are, they will list down the exam center. Okay, whether you are in India or Singapore, they have a list of exam center, right? And personally, I feel that it's better go exam center than take from home. Okay? Take from home is very strict. High risk of being disqualified, actually. But of course, you can still do that.
Okay, so we have another question. After training, how much time we should spend for preparation of exam in terms of average hours?
Okay, all right. Average hours, I would say about 5 weeks. Okay, if you can spare time to do revision, practice immediately after the course, you submit application. At least 5 weeks. Give yourself 5 weeks to do revision, to study the books, and then do practice question. All right. And I believe KnowledgeHut also provide some help in terms of guidance during that period. Of course, it all depends on individual. Some individual may take longer to revise, but on average, 5 weeks should be quite sufficient.
Yes, so
Actually, to share my experience, actually I take more than 5 weeks. I take about 2 months because of work commitment. Okay.
all right. Yes, let's move on. And all right, so KH as a workforce management organization, we have more than 450,000 plus alumni and 4,500 plus enterprise partners across 100 plus countries. And yes, so another key differentiator for KnowledgeHut is the advanced, immersive, hands-on AI-based a platform which is Prism. I can tell you guys, no other company comes close to what Prism has to offer. Features like cloud labs where you can practice within your browser and there is no need for additional software. And the real time insight that learners get so they can improve in their weaknesses makes us stand out from the crowd. So this is the thing, you can learn, practice, get assessed, get insights through our tool called Prism. So this is 360-degree immersive learning experience for you people. And for the people who are in the session are getting exclusive bonuses for you. You'll get a PMP toolkit, which consists of case studies, free videos, practice tests, and collection of most asked interview questions. And free access to our exclusive tried and tested secret formula exam simulation and a one-on-one expert with a PMP expert, one-on-one 30-minute slot, one-on-one slot with PMP expert Zahari Zack. So what are you waiting for? Go and enroll now to get all these exclusive bonuses for you. Right. So anything else for you to tell Zach? So, and yes, your feedback is very essential for improving and making our work better. So once the session ends, you'll be redirected to a survey question. Please participate in that and let us know your valuable feedback.
All right. Hope it has been beneficial to all of you.
Yes. So anything else you want to say, Zach, for at the end of the session?
No, I hope it has been beneficial, like I said just now. All right, so it helps to I've raised some points which should be useful to most of you for preparing for exam, and take note of, like I said, the PMI way of thinking. It's very important. It helps you a lot in answering questions, not just based on the knowledge. Okay, all the best.
Yes, there's one last question here. So Rashi is asking how much time it takes for PMI to share the status of the application.
All right, normally within 3 to 5 working days, you should get a response from them. Earliest is 3 working days.
Nice. So thank you. Thank you. We are getting many thank yous in the chat option. And thank you, Zach. It was a great
Welcome.
session and it was very insightful. I hope it helped everyone. So thank you everyone for your time and enroll today to get all those exclusive bonuses. And Manjunath, you will get an email for all these exclusive bonuses. And oh, yes, thank you. Thank you, Zach. And cheers, everybody.
Welcome. Cheers. All the best.
Thank you.